Hello everyone. In this video we will talk about how to access and navigate Pinterest in a web browser. So this will look drastically different than if you are on a mobile device, but the idea is still exactly the same. So open your favorite browser. I've opened Google Chrome, and in your search bar you will type pinterest.com to go directly to the website. And I'm already logged in, so let me switch accounts really quickly. So when you first open up Pinterest, you may be asked to log in, or you may already still be signed in. Either one is possible. But Pinterest overall is a online inspiration board. So what you'll do is you will search through here like it's suggesting on this page here, where you can find your next idea. And that could be for DIY projects, it could be for crafting, it could be for dinner ideas, breakfast ideas, just inspiration in general. Pretty much anything and everything you can find a pin for. So what pins are they are colorful images that show up in a feed, kind of like this, where you'll see these nice appealing pictures, and when you click on those pictures they will take you to a link on the internet to either get to that project, to get to that craft, to get to that knitting pattern, to get to that recipe, so that way you can complete that idea. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and get logged in so you can actually see what that looks like. I'm going to log in with a different account. Okay, this one. Now if you haven't created an account just yet, you can sign up here in this window, or I believe you can continue with one of these accounts, your Facebook or your Gmail, or just go ahead and create an account from there. What it'll do is it'll ask you, of course, your name and email, but it'll also have you choose what you're interested in. So are you interested in landscapes and photography, in cooking, in baking, in knitting? It'll try to get an idea of who you are and what you like, so that way it can suggest it's your first group of pins to you. So you'll see here these little images here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, are the pins. They will be in a little tile formation, and it's pretty much an endless scroll of pins. And as you start saving things to your boards, which will be your way to organize what you save, Pinterest will kind of learn and start to recommend things to you that it thinks that you might enjoy. So let's start this tour. Now, starting at the very top, let me go back up. You have this toolbar that runs across the top, and it will stay there as you scroll, so it is stationary. That will have different locations that you can access on Pinterest. So the first one is the Pinterest logo. What it'll do is, depending on how far down you go, I believe it should take you back to the top. So it's essentially just like the home, which is where we are. So the Pinterest icon will take you home. The home tab will take you home, which is the initial screen you'll see when you first open Pinterest. Next, they have a Today tab, and this is a compilation of, it looks like, collections that Pinterest has put together. Most of the time these little collections will be what other pinners have been looking for. So it kind of goes off the trend of the day type of thing. Or if you've been pinning something, it's like, hey, you might also like these to inspire you. So it'll kind of differ day to day and based on what you've been looking for. Next is following. Now these would be people that have public Pinterest boards, and they have shown up in your home feed, and you really enjoyed their content. So you can actually go either follow that person, where you'll get a notification anytime they add something new to a board, or you can follow that person's boards, like a specific board, so you'll be notified each time they add a new pin to that board. It's just a way to kind of gather more inspiration, especially if someone's finding things that you might not have found yet on Pinterest. Following people is just kind of a way to stay connected. So this will let you find new people to follow, especially if there's a certain topic and there's a certain user that you're really interested in who shares some quality content. So that'll let you filter out for that page. In the center is your search. You can type pretty much literally anything. There are billions of ideas on Pinterest that will pretty much meet everyone's needs. So what you could type in here, let's see, if you are getting ready for Christmas, for instance, and you want to make your own Christmas ornaments. Oh, hey, how did it know? It will suggest to you in this drop down as well. And then it'll also suggest other pinners accounts that might have DIY in their name. But say you're looking for Christmas ornaments, it'll let you explore different options of what to make. Now you could filter this down a little more and be specific to like the type you want to make. So if you want to make DIY Christmas ornaments like trolls or Frozen, whatever your child's interested in at the moment, you could get specific like that and see if anyone's made any of those. So what you would do is you would just scroll through here, find ones you're interested in, and then when you find a pin you're interested in, you can interact with it in a couple ways. But we'll do that in just a moment, because let's finish going over this toolbar up here. So that's the search. To the right of your search, you have your notification bell, which will notify you anytime something new is added to Pinterest that might interest you. If someone saves a pin that you pinned because they found it, because once you pin it, it'll show up in other people's homes feeds if it's related to a topic they're interested in. What's trending, if anyone's added anything to boards you're following, it'll give you those updates. To the right of that is a little speaker bubble. This will be your inbox, where you can send pins directly to other people on Pinterest. Now you do have to have their name or email. So if you're working with someone and you're like, hey, did you see that pin? Let me send it to you. You can send it to them directly in Pinterest. You can also message and find other people here that you're following and message them from there. So if you wanted to message this user because you're following them, it'll let you go ahead and contact them. To the right of that, you'll see your profile bubble. This will take you to your homepage. This will be everything that you have saved and the boards that you've created. So this is where you'll go to revisit what you've collected. So you'll have different options here. You'll have an edit option, a share option. Here is the filter scale, and then here's a plus sign for you to create a new board or a new pin. So depending on what you want to do, you have a few options. And then once you go inside a board, you'll see the collection of pins that you've saved to that board. So this board is all about apple pies. So below, you'll see pins of different apple pie recipes or apple pie cupcakes. That sounds really good. Oh my goodness. And then it'll suggest some ideas for you below that board that relate to that board. So say I was ready to make these apple pie cupcakes. I could click on this pin And then some of them will have the ingredients here in the description, just to kind of give you a preview of what you might need. But what you would do next is click on the image, and it'll take you to the page where that user who created the pen found the recipe for that item. So you'll scroll through that person's life story. Most of the time those blogs are like, oh, I made this on a foggy winter morning and the children were wearing their favorite slippers, and yada yada yada. And so once you get down to it, oh, there we go, it'll tell you how to make it. So most of them won't necessarily be that long, and some people are really nice and will put the instructions and the ingredients in the description, which is very handy, so that way you don't have to scroll through people's blogs. And then once you're done, you can kind of close out of that pen if you need to, but it'll still be here in your board if you need to make it later. So those are your options from there. Now to the right, you'll have a little drop down which will let you add another account, add a free business account, because you can sell items on Pinterest. There are shoppable pins. So if you create a business, so if you have an Etsy already, you could go ahead and upload your items from Etsy to this free business account to kind of give yourself more exposure. It'll take you to your settings, fine-tune your home feed, so you'll kind of edit and update your preferences so it can be a more accurate representation of what you want to look for. Get help, see terms, and then you can log out from there. So that's what that is. Now when you're on a mobile device, you most likely will not have like all 6 of these options here. They'll be condensed. Some of it may be in the profile circle. So kind of keep that in mind. If you switch back and forth from the browser version to the mobile version, like I usually do, some things are kind of in different spots. So let's go back to our home page. And let's see. This pin here. So when you find a pin that you're interested in, Pinterest on the browser, when you hover your mouse over the pin, will automatically pull up which board it thinks you want to put this pin to save it. It'll pull up the share icon so you can send it to someone else, and then you have a 3-dot menu here. So the 3-dot menu may differ depending on what type of pin it is. You can hide it, you can download the image, or you can report the pin. Most of the time you'll report a pin if it shows an image but doesn't go to what the image is related to. Or if the link is bad, or if it takes you somewhere else, you can report pins that way as well. If you want to share it, you would click that to send it to someone else on Pinterest, or you can copy the link to send it to other social media. Now, if I wanted to save this pin, I could go ahead and just save it automatically from here, and I'm done. And then I can move on to the next thing. Or if I wanted to choose a different board, I would just click the drop down arrow, find the board I need by scrolling through here, and then save it. So say I actually need it in the board it's suggesting, I could just save it from there. But if I wanted a little bit more information before I decided to just automatically save it, I could, let's find another one. Oh, look at this little, was that a platypus thing? So if I hover my mouse over this and I click on it, I could also save from this window, and you can also do that by clicking on the link to make sure it takes you where you need to go. So I should expect this based on sight alone that it should take me to a crochet pattern for this platypus that's on reddit.com. It should. I don't know, we'll have to explore that. But if I wanted to also look at more pins that are kind of related to this, you can scroll down and it'll give you more pins like that. It is a mini platypus. How cute. And baby Yodas, get out. I don't crochet, but this is super cute. An axolotl. So when you're looking at a pin, it'll be the picture, it'll be a title right below it, and then most of the time it'll tell you, if it knows, the location of the link. So this one is an axolotl salamander crochet pattern that should be on Etsy. So if you enlarge it and you click on that image, it should take you to that Etsy store where you can purchase that pattern. And so if you wanted to come back to that later, you would then choose your board. So this is going on my knitting and crochet project or patterns board. I can go ahead and click save. Now you may have noticed this board when I went to save something to it, it had a lock next to it, which you'll see right here. This means that this board is secret. So that means this board people cannot see if they come to my profile, and they cannot see the pins that are in this board because it's private. So sometimes you'll have a secret board if you are gathering ideas for Christmas presents. You might not want to show up across other areas of where you browse, or if you're, trying to get things together for a surprise birthday party. It really depends on your situation. Or there are some people that don't want any of their boards to be public by default. You would then go ahead and set them to secret when you create them. And you create a board either while you're pinning something or from your profile. Sometimes, so I'll give you an idea. Let's go back here. If I needed this is like a felt project, for instance. If I wanted to create the board for a felt project, because I haven't had one before, because I was just inspired by now to make this felt project, I can click on that drop down arrow and you'll see there's a create board option. I think I might be zoomed in a little too far. So I can create the board. I could say felt projects. You could make it as long as obnoxious as you need to, I'm sure. And then, oh, they're funny. They put, when do you plan to finish this project? Okay, 9 times out of 10, I don't really do any of the projects on Pinterest. I'm just saving them for when I think I will do that project. So I'm gonna leave that blank. Thank goodness it's optional. And then from there, I can go ahead and make this board secret right here. Or if I decide later to make it secret, I can do that too. But any of the pins that were there before you made the board secret will probably still show up in people's home feeds. So kind of keep that in mind when you're creating your boards, because they're already been shared essentially before you made the board secret. And then I can choose to go ahead and create that board from there. I don't want to necessarily choose a topic for it just yet, so I can skip it. So that board's been created and now it's in my profile. So that's how you create right then and there. Now you also have a plus sign here where you can save created ideas and get the Pinterest button, where it'll show up here in your extensions. So for instance, if you're on a Etsy page or a blog or pretty much anything that you want to now save to your Pinterest, because you're like, oh, this would be perfect for my one board, you could go ahead and click your Pinterest button. It'll help you set up the pin and then let you save it to your Pinterest page. So you can be a pin creator. I do that sometimes. You can also share things to your Pinterest from mobile, so you do have that option there as well. And so if everyone's doing that, there will be tons of things on Pinterest. Now, if you go back to your profile, you should see that new board here, or depending on how you have your profile page filter set up to how you want the board sorted, You may see it alphabetical order, or you set up your own organization style by dragging and dropping it. I have it now currently to the last saved to, so the board that last got a pin will be the first one I see when I go here. And that tends to be kind of how I do it, because I am looking for certain ideas. I'm most likely searching for that, and so I want to find those quicker. So I put which one I've been saving to most recently up front. So that is essentially how Pinterest works. You search for whatever you want, anything and everything, and you find something to help you do that. And so you look at these beautiful pins, find what you want, hover over it, go ahead and just save it, and then move on to the next thing. It's that easy. I'm going to be obsessed with these little crochet minis, and that's bad. So, all right. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Stay tuned. There will be a mobile version of this video coming up in the next few weeks to help you figure out how to use Pinterest on your mobile device. All right. That's it. Have a great day. And we want to thank you for watching. Follow us to find more videos just like this. Our page on Facebook is MCPL 360. We're here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you miss us on Facebook, you'll still find these same videos on our YouTube channel at MCPL Mo. Find our consumer technology playlist. Have a good day.